Hello everyone, and welcome back to another Game News Roundup. Before we get into this, if anyone has been on VGChartz in the last, well, currently it's Monday, December 5th, in the last today and yesterday, and you probably have been struck with, website is currently down for maintenance. You might be wondering, how am I on? Well, there was an attack for the website. Through the front end, someone was able to access one of our site admin's accounts and was able to do some, how do I put this, inappropriate things, but we currently have the website locked down to just a handful of us. We're hoping to have it up sooner, but we're putting in some security measures to prevent some major stuff happening again in the future. Once those are done, we hope to bring the website live, which is why I already have some gaming news ready to go. So, I guess one of the biggest things from today, Microsoft is going to be joining Sony, Take-Two, Ubisoft, and many other video game publishers in raising the price of their games from $60 to $70. But yeah, Microsoft announced it is raising the price of its major first-party games built for Xbox Series X from $60 to $70. They specifically said built for Xbox Series X, but at this point, I don't think there's any more cross-gen first-party games from Xbox. The big games next year, Forza Motorsport, Redfall, and Starfield, are next-gen only, are not coming to Xbox One. Next-gen, Xbox Series X and S and PC. They will cost $60 when they launch next year. Regional pricing may differ, however, no specific prices were given in other countries. So a Microsoft spokesperson, this price reflects the content, scale, and technical complexity of these titles. So it sounds like some of the smaller titles won't be going up to $70. So Minecraft Legends will probably be like a $30 title when that comes out. Maybe $40. Not totally sure, but that's my guess. So these bigger games will be $70. Much like Sony did at the start of the current gen, November 2020. Take-Two did as well. Ubisoft has recently done, and several other publishers have. Of the biggest ones, Nintendo has yet to do it. I would not expect Nintendo to raise the price of their games from $60 to $70 until at least the launch of their next console, the Switch 2, the Super Switch, the successor to the Switch. I'm not even saying that they will, it's just they might. But anyway, as with all games developed by our teams at Xbox, they will also be available with Xbox Game Pass same day as they launch. So if you use Xbox Game Pass, this price increase, you're good. You're safe. You're fine. There's nothing to worry about. Unless they raise the price of Game Pass, which they might in the next few years. Maybe, from $10 a month to $12 a month for standard Game Pass or PC Game Pass. And then maybe $15 to like $18 a month for Game Pass Ultimate. But, yeah. I mean, personally, I don't know, $70 games, it feels like a lot. And then plus, that doesn't include tax or whatever tax is where you live. And this, that, and the other thing. But also, this was not the biggest surprise. Microsoft Gaming CEO Phil Spencer in October did state that at some point in the future, they would need to increase prices on stuff. Subscription prices, game prices, I guess, say consoles and whatever. Although there's been no announcement on the price of the Xbox Series X or S going up in price. So I would expect the console prices to remain the same. But, yeah. So yeah, that's probably the biggest thing. First-party Xbox games going up to $70 starting next year. Although I'm not sure if there's really anything coming out in the next month. So, yeah. And then a few other things. Yes, we're going to that, as always, Activision, Blizzard stuff, and unions, and yada yada. So, the Communications Workers of America, which is one of America's largest unions, is actually calling for the Federal Trade Commission of the USA to approve the acquisition. Why is this decision happening? It's because, you would think, why would a union be I complained that we used to pay $60 for SNES games once and it was worth more than. Yeah, that's true. I don't know. It's just, maybe because for me, most games, I've rarely spent $60 on a game. Very rarely. So for me, it depends. For the most part, I wait for games to go on sale. And I buy pretty much all my games digitally, other than maybe on the Switch. Also, because, a game on my PC, which I don't have a Blu-ray drive or a DVD drive or whatever in it, and I have an Xbox Series S, which is a digital console. So then there's my Switch, and I am playing PlayStation games on PC now. So yeah, for you, Super almost every exactly. Unless there's a game I'm really excited for, I think I'm gonna get my money's worth out of it. A game that I know that I'm gonna really enjoy, and that is like 20, 30, 40 plus hours. Then sure, if it's a game I know I'm gonna really enjoy, but it's only like an 8 to 10 hour game, I'll wait till it's like maybe $40. Wait till it goes down a bit. I've got enough games I'm interested in playing that, it's just wait. Just wait. But yeah, this is mainly the CWA president, Chris Shelton, in an op-ed on The Hill, basically signaling his approval. Microsoft did recently come out saying that they're going to remain neutral to their employees if they want to form unions. Basically, they're not going to try to stop their unions who want to form a union. If you have employees at any Microsoft, whether it's Xbox or, I don't know, LinkedIn or Windows team or whatever, they're fine. Their employees will be allowed to form unions, and then once the union is formed, they will negotiate whatever contracts they want with the unions, and they'll be good to go. That is what they have said, and they have a contract in place, or a deal in place, with the CWA. Which, if anyone knows tech companies, they've really been fighting against and trying to stop unions, to say the least. But yeah, CWA president, the coming decision about whether to allow Microsoft's merger with Activision Blizzard to move forward is a bellwether for American antitrust policy. By approving this merger, the FTC has the opportunity to make a strong statement in favor of economic democracy and provide a blueprint for an enforceable remedy to protect workers from large employers abusing market power to undercut wages and working conditions. Shelton had added that labor consideration has been largely ignored from antitrust decisions, even though it could lead to potential harm to workers. Microsoft was able to work out a deal with CWA to agree to a labor neutrality agreement. Shelton adds, from the start, President Biden made clear that things would be different on his watch. Restoring the American middle class by strengthening unions has been a top priority for his administration. If anyone knows anything about Activision Blizzard, there's been a lot of issues and lawsuits due to a lot of sexual harassment stuff going on at Activision Blizzard. So hopefully, allowing them to form unions and then clear house with upper management will hopefully improve things for employees. Anyways, where was it? And the president issued an executive order calling on the Department of Justice and the FTC to strengthen antitrust guidelines to address labor concerns with a particular focus on the tech sector, which, Microsoft was well aware of this changed antitrust climate when it announced its intent to acquire Activision Blizzard, knowing that regulators would be taking a close look at the transaction's potential impact on workers, which, it's like a $68.7 billion acquisition. I understand it's going to take a long time for regulators to be going through everything. But it was in this context that we were able to negotiate an unprecedented labor neutrality agreement, which, if the merger is approved, would allow workers at Activision to freely and fairly make a choice about union representation. He added, our neutrality agreement with Microsoft is different from other behavioral remedies, which have often been tossed aside by companies as soon as the ink was dry on their deals. This is a structural solution, creating a pathway for workers to organize and exercise their true bargaining strength, altering power relations in the labor context, but also potentially empowering thousands of consumer-minded watchdogs inside the company. And it's enforceable through a legally binding agreement. Legally binding. He also mentioned about Sony. Has been one of the few companies who have been vocally against the acquisition, and says there is a stark contrast of interest. If the deal is approved, it would mean Activision Blizzard workers in the U.S. fighting sexual harassment and other poor working conditions stand to finally have a voice on the job and a chance to shape working conditions throughout the industry, and gamers will have allies inside a corporation with real protections for speaking out in consumers' interests. If the merger is disapproved, the power relations within the gaming industry for labor stay the same. Sony protects its very profitable position as the industry leader, and consumers will have to wait and see if the subscription services mature into a viable gaming option. So, Shelton concludes, it's time to seal the deal and not blow it up. So one of the presidents of one of the biggest union organizations in the U.S. is calling for the FTC to approve the deal. Now you might be thinking Microsoft has this deal in place with the CWA. It does say legal binding. I know it's some mention like what happens if they try to break it, but here's some evidence to show that they don't have any plans to ever break it. 300 quality assurance employees at Microsoft's own company, ZeniMax Media, have voted to form their own union. And Microsoft is going to let them do it. But yeah, ZeniMax, under ZeniMax is Bethesda Game Studios. You know, Elder Scrolls, Fallout, id Software, Doom, Machine Games, the Wolfenstein reboots. God, I'm having a brain fart on all the studios. But, so it looks like 300 quality assurance workers are forming their own union. This is going to report by the New York Times. Also by the tweets that they said. But yeah, the quality assurance workers include... Also, quality assurance, if you don't know, most people would probably refer to them as game testers. But yeah, includes those who work at Bethesda Game Studios, and they can sign a union authorization card or weigh in anonymously for or against unionization on an electronic platform. The process is set to conclude at the end of this month. A Microsoft spokeswoman said that they are not interfering with the organizing campaign by the quality assurance employees, as it is an example of our labor... God, wow, I can't read apparently. Principles in action. Microsoft remains committed to providing employees with an opportunity to freely and fairly make choices about their workplace representation. And then their own tweets by the new union, ZeniMax Workers United. Today, we, a majority of QA workers at ZeniMax, are proud to announce the launch of our union with CWA. We are the first group of workers at Microsoft to formally unionize. We are empowered to advocate to ourselves and build a future where we can thrive alongside the company. QA workers at ZeniMax... hold on. Okay. So you can read it better. QA workers at ZeniMax are extremely passionate about our work and the games we make. Having a seat at the table will ensure we receive fair compensation for the work that we do. A union on the job will protect us and make sure our passion isn't taken for granted. We hope to secure the following with our union: fair treatment for all individuals and wages commensurate with the value we provide, opportunities for advancement within the company's accountability and transparency, a voice in making decisions around scheduling, workload, and more. We know we have a unique opportunity to be trailblazers for a new era of the game industry, and we don't want to take this lightly. Our union will be a place where all workers can collectively participate in decision-making and push for changes that reflect the wants and needs of workers. So far, Microsoft has remained committed to staying neutral throughout this process as we vote over the next 4 weeks in our democratic election. We hope that you will support our journey towards building lasting positive change for workers, gamers, and the industry as a whole. So that right there is so far proof that Microsoft is still going to remain neutral and let their employees form unions. And then they will negotiate with the unions. And one last thing. It has been confirmed that Microsoft did offer Sony a deal to keep Call of Duty on PlayStation for 10 years. This is Microsoft President Brad Smith in an op-ed posted on the Wall Street Journal. Confirm about the deal. The company is open to making the same commitment to other platforms, I guess would be the Switch, and to make it so regulators in the US, UK, and European Union can enforce the deal, so Microsoft will not be allowed to back out of the deal. We've offered Sony a 10-year contract to make each new Call of Duty release available on PlayStation the same day it comes to Xbox. We're open to providing the same commitment to other platforms, Nintendo's Switch, I guess, and making it legally enforceable by regulators in the US, UK, and European Union. Smith basically added that the main focus of the deal is about Apple and Google and their control over the mobile market, and Microsoft trying to grow their presence in the mobile market, because Activision Blizzard does include King, the developers of Candy Crush, as well as obviously you get Call of Duty mobile. There's a Diablo mobile game, I believe, and some other mobile games. But yeah, So yeah, a little bit shorter game news roundup, but you know, again, by the time you're watching this, VGChartz might be back up. We might be all good to go. The hope is tomorrow, but I can't make any promises. Tomorrow being Tuesday, December 6th. So if you have been waiting, thank you all for your patience. This is very frustrating for me, and I will admit very stressful because it does mean we are losing out on money every day. Every day the website is currently down, but we want to get some stuff in place first. So anyways, thank you all so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe. Leave comments. Leave comments of like, please, hope you get the website good to go, bundled up. And again, thank you all so much for your patience. And I'll see you all next time for some more Game News Roundup.